What is the fastest way a room of happy people turned sour you've witnessed?
Story 1.
When I was a kid, there were about 6 to 8 families in our area who were a good group of friends, regular holidays together, kids all close friends too, and in the same classes at school, etc. The backstory was that one of the families kept noticing money going missing from a drawer in the master bedroom. They had an older son who was getting the blame but was denying it. Fast forward a few weeks, and it's their younger kid's birthday, and everyone is at their house. The usual script was the kids' party would be late afternoon. Then, in the evening, the kids would end up playing games in some bedroom, as the adults had a few drinks. Kids were happy because we got to stay up late with all our friends, and our parents got to have a few guilt-free drinks. This night was going as normal until we were all shuffled out and home earlier than usual. We got the full story the next day. Once the kids were out of the way, the owners of the house turned on their TV and pressed play on a video. On screen, there was a CCTV of the bedroom where the money had been going missing. Clearly, in the video, you could see the wife of one of the other couples sitting in that very room, going into the drawer and taking money. Apparently, they switched off the video and said, "What you saw is exactly what it looked like," and asked that couple to leave. Everyone else left shortly after.
Story 2.
In high school, we were told that if the power was out for more than 15 minutes, we could go home as it would be hazardous to have students in a poorly lit school. Cut to us counting the minutes when power was out and packing our bags at the 15th minute mark, happy as clams. As we were emptying our locks in the halls and getting jackets on, power comes back and the principal, blocking the exit, yells at everyone to get back to class. The collective groan and shouts of displeasure were something else.
Story 3.
This is more of a mild story, but still very uncomfortable. It was at work during break. A whole bunch of us were outside smoking. One guy asks my coworker if he has any kids and says that he likes to dress up as Santa for the young ones. So my coworker tells him, "I have a daughter that just turned 20." And he replied with, "Well, she can definitely come sit on my lap." The silence after that sentence was so painful. Everyone ended up going back inside after that. It was super awkward.
Story 4.
We had to work on a holiday, but management didn't. So there was nobody to unlock the building. We waited outside from 7 a.m. until 7:45 and were told that if we didn't get in by 8, we could go home. 7:55, the manager shows up and lets us in.
Story 5.
Dude decided to pop the question to his girlfriend at a work holiday party. She said no. Both parties began to cry inconsolably. All the guys in the room tried to cheer up the guy with their tales of woe. All the women in the room took the woman aside and did whatever the female version of the above was. Went from a fairly happy event to a complete disaster within minutes. Plus side, while all of this was going down, no one was hitting the buffet, so I cleaned it up.
Story 6.
Not exactly a room, but our plane landed home after my company spent a year in Iraq. Our company commander previously told us to tell our families that they shouldn't come out to the tarmac to welcome us back because it would be a effing circus, and you will just see them later anyway. Stepping off the plane, who are the first and only people we see? Our commander's wife, 3 kids, parents, grandparents, brothers, and numerous cousins and friends.
Story 7.
In Portugal during the World Cup, get there early to find a street bar in the center with a big screen. The place is soon packed. England starts really well and everyone is singing and laughing. All of a sudden, the bar up the road erupts into massive cheers. Lots of people go out into the road to see. Apparently, someone just dropped an entire tray of drinks. We all laugh and go back to watching the game. 10 seconds later, England scored. Our bar erupts and we spill into the street. The bar up the road is silent now. Weird. The game starts again and the bar up the road starts shouting again. Nothing in the game. What's going on? People look up the road again. Can't quite work it out. Then a really bad tackle goes in, and the penny finally drops. Our bar's TV is the only one using satellite, and now the other bars have cable. Our feed is about 20 seconds behind everywhere else. Every exciting moment is audible about 20 seconds before we get to see it. Have never seen a bar empty so fast in all my life.
Story 8.
A bad snowstorm started out about 4 a.m. a few years ago. My co-workers and I were texting each other, thinking no way would they make us come into our job today. We are non-essential workers. We're all home waiting for the email to go out regarding whether or not our boss would give us the day off. The email finally goes out around 7:30 a.m. saying that we would have a shorter day, but everyone must show up for work by 9. So I layered up, cleaned off my car, shoveled out my parking spot, and headed to work on very precarious roads. I got to work on time and was greeted by my co-workers, who were all pretty happy just not to have gotten into an accident on the way over. All of the clients and meetings had been cancelled, so there was a party-like atmosphere. Just as we were talking about playing charades, we get another email from the boss saying because road conditions were so bad, they were closing the agency after all, and everyone had to go home. This was 20 minutes after we had all gotten there. I have never seen 20 plus people all scream, "Are you effing kidding me?" at the same time before. It was absurd, and everyone was angry.
Story 9.
Was on a team, about 15 people, for a special project for a regional internet service provider. During the bi-weekly team meeting, the manager was super pumped about how far ahead of schedule we were due to some new processes we came up with. After about 20 minutes of attaboys, the manager concluded by telling us all we were being laid off, in the same tone of voice she used for the whole meeting, issuing a bunch of praise. Most of us awkwardly laughed for a couple of seconds, thinking she was joking. She was not.
Story 10.
I was watching Bruce Lee's Enter the Dragon in a movie theater when it came out in the early 1970s. The projector broke down during a fight scene.
Story 11.
I used to work for this new performance hall in New York City, and one morning during our morning meetings, one of our managers thought she was being unique and uplifting by ending our meeting by forcing us to say, "One thing I am grateful to," company name here, for is all 30 of us were pretty happy to just start the day, since it was a beautiful day out, but that soured our mood really quickly. A bunch of people got hostile with answers like, "The wonderful health care we are given, we have none," and "The magnificent hours. Ours are trash and inconsiderate."
Story 12.
The president of our company got completely plastered at our Christmas party. His speech started off funny because he was luring hard and he was playing on it. Then he started talking about how he came from nothing and became something. Then he proceeded to tell us how if it wasn't for us working so hard and keeping our clients happy, he wouldn't have been able to accomplish building his mega mansion for himself and his family, nor would he have been able to afford his new Benz. Awkward muttering, followed by him directing us to drink up and enjoy, because due to budget cuts, the future Christmas party/bonus budget is cancelled from here on out. Many of my co-workers relied on that bonus. No one was impressed. Except for one person, the rest of us quit within the first few months into the new year.
Story 13.
I was on a Chicago to New York flight. We all got on the plane but were delayed taking off due to a heavy storm going on. About 20 minutes in, everybody was still pretty calm until the pilot announces they were working on getting our baggage loaded because it's been sitting on the tarmac this entire time. The entire plane looks out and sees all our luggage just sitting there in the pouring rain, uncovered, and starts freaking out.
Story 14.
This story took place during my freshman year of high school. I was in an extremely small fifth period theater course with maybe about 10 or 15 other people in it. We were a very well behaved class that acted more like a family than anything else. It was fun. However, one day we got a substitute teacher, who I will call D. D was old. She had short white hair, a permanent scowl, and always wore a jacket that looked like a duster. That particular day she was angry, and you could tell. She had a difficult time with the computer playing the movie, so she was yelling, fussing, and blaming her ignorance on us. In our class we had several tech-savvy people, but she refused all help because we were too risky. Eventually she gets it to work, giving us the chance to ignore her. Around 10 minutes into the film, someone realized she hasn't said anything in a while, so they look over and see her eyes open, still and unresponsive. Everyone begins to freak out. People are taking flash pictures of her, waving, etc. Everything to get her to respond. Eventually she woke up, yelled at us, then went back to sleep with her eyes open once more. It was the freakiest situation ever, but the good news is that I never saw that sub working for my school again.
Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and activate the bell button to receive notifications to my latest videos.